Hello there, welcome back to another video. You're watching the Perfume Experience, and if you like fragrance related videos, hit the notification icon to get notified about every new video coming your way. You get about 3 to 4 in a week comfortably, Middle Eastern, Indian and lot of other things. So today I have a fantastic Middle Eastern fragrance from the house of Ahmed Al Maghribi called as Azure Royal. So we're going to talk about this beautiful fragrance today, the scent profile, the projection, lasting, and should you get it, right? So all about this after the intro. Right now you're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get going. So welcome back, and I've been getting quite a few requests to do a lot of Ahmed Al Maghribi fragrance reviews, right, and to also add it as part of our decanting lists as well. So I will try and do Ignite Oud sometime later, but then I've also been getting requests for Azure Royal. So this is the Azure Royal bottle, and the box, it looks very nice, a blue colored box with a little bit of that wavy surfy thing that gives you an idea that it's kind of a blue kind of a fragrance. And at the side also it's got some presentation, it's got some decals. At the back it talks about Ahmed Al Maghribi and all of that. This is a eau de parfum concentration, and this is about 100 ml. So and I think the volume on this is about 64.20, which means this should have a concentration of about 35% or so. Now the fragrance box is like really good, top-notch quality box, and when you open it up, this part comes out separately. So this is here, and the box itself is very good. It's got this nice velvety finish, and this part here is got it's a an extension that's happens. There's a soft kind of a cushion, something that's placed here, which makes it feel very nice. It's like a 3D element which comes out very nicely done. So the box is really superb, and when you open up the fragrance like this, you will see the fragrance sitting inside, tucked very beautifully inside. Okay, so this is the Azure Royal, and for the money or for the price point, I think this is super presentation that you get, like really good. So in some way I also feel that it kind of resembles the box of Arabian Oud, okay, maybe Amiri to some extent, maybe there it's a white color bottle, but I think here this is a completely blue colored bottle, right? So this is the bottle in the way in which it looks. It's a sky blue kind of a bottle. It's talking about Azure Royal. It's a nice cap which is actually plastic, but makes to or made to be look like a metal, but it's pretty plasticky. But the bottle itself is really good, very well done by Ahmed Al Maghribi, right? So yes, so let's talk about the perfumes. Enough about the presentation. The sprayer is good as well, so let's just do a couple of sprays. Let me just turn this aside, and very nice sprayer, punches very strongly, right? Now this particular fragrance opens up with, for me, in terms of its scent profile, it opens with a lot of musk and ambroxan. That's what you kind of get instantly hit by this particular fragrance. Really nicely, very well done, very smooth, very well blended amount of musk and ambroxan, and that's the first thing that you notice. After some time, you also get a nice amount of sweetness on this particular fragrance, and then the fragrance opens up to some fruity type of an element that you kind of get. But by and large, a definition of this fragrance would be a musky, fruity type of a fragrance that you will absolutely enjoy. Okay, now when you talk about notes of this particular fragrance opens up with a bit of fruity elements. Okay, so I think it's got pear, it's got freesia, so these kind of elements which opens it up, or which makes it a very fruity type of a fragrance. Aside to this particular fragrance also has got orange. It also talks about a bit of rose, but it also talks about ambroxan. Okay, so that's another element on this particular fragrance, and I think that's the most popular element on this one, because it's mostly the freesia, it's mostly the musk, it's mostly the pear note that is there on this particular fragrance, and along with a little bit of amber type of a musk and ambroxan. That's essentially what makes this particular fragrance. Of course, now after you put this on, you get a little bit of sweetness on this particular fragrance, so there is a little bit of a sweet element, right? So by and large, it's a fragrance that is very nicely done. But the flaw with this particular fragrance that I feel is it makes you nose blind. So if you're somebody who gets nose blinded by fragrance, then this can happen to you very soon, because once you put it on, after about 30-40 minutes time, you kind of feel that, okay, it's not there, or it's very soft as such. But in reality, it is actually there for a very long time, and performance is really good. But if you like a very good, well-made musk, ambroxan and a fruity kind of concoction, then definitely this is a fragrance to try, because this at the price point I think is superb, right? Now what does this fragrance remind you of? Okay, let's think about it from that point of view for us to get a connection to this particular fragrance. Paris Megamer. Okay, I spoke about this when I spoke about Atlas. Now, when Latafas Atlas, you can say, is a very strong version of a similar type of a fragrance where there's a lot of musk, there's a lot of ambroxan, there's a lot of sea note, marine note, but it's out there on your face and you kind of, get overwhelmed by it. So some people who like extremely strong fragrances, that is fantastic for you. For me personally, I felt it was right over the top, but it's a very good fragrance. Now here, I feel the DNA is a little like that, because when you think about ambroxan and when you think about musk, and the opening that you get is a little like that. But instead of having the saltiness that is there in Atlas, you have a sweet note on this particular fragrance. So you get a very nice sweet opening. And after the first 1 minutes time, you start feeling the notes of that pear and orange coming together. And that's something that you will enjoy as well. So that note is something that makes this particular fragrance very, very beautiful, refreshing, because on the top you also have orange, which brings that citrusy element onto this particular fragrance. So those elements are done absolutely right. So in a way, I think that this is a softer version, more polished version, more mass-pleasing version of Megamer or Latafas Atlas, where the musk, the ambroxan, along with the fruity pear note and the orange note makes it a very pleasing, mass-appealing type of a fragrance, right? Especially good for summers, day wear, indoors. Okay, now another thing that I would want to say is, if you wear this outdoors in the sun and go, like I said, one, because of the nose blindness, you think that this is not on you. Second, you don't really get a lot of whiff if you are in the sun. But when you sit somewhere and you get a whiff of some good air around you, some AC environment, you will keep liking this fragrance all throughout, because you keep getting whiffs of it, and that way you will enjoy this particular fragrance. Now, in terms of projection, I would say this is a soft scent. Okay, this is not like Atlas or Megamer, which is a beast mode type. It is softer. Somewhere between 1.5 feet to 2 feet is what you kind of get as a projection on this particular fragrance. And lasting, I would say the first part of the projection lasts good about 45-50 minutes time. But after that also, you will feel the fragrance on you for a long time. If you want to really explore the fragrance, put it on your apparel in the morning and then try it in the evening. After 8 to 9 hours, easily you will still be able to sniff it on your clothes very nicely, because it's there. But when you think about for yourself, if you sniff your hand or if you sniff your skin, you will most likely not sense the fragrance, because it makes you nose blind. At least that's been the case with me every time I've worn this fragrance, and I've liked this fragrance over time. So the first time when I wore it, I was like, okay, smells nice, smells fruity, smells musky, that's about it. But every time I tried it to test, and I kind of enjoyed it, and I kind of like it more and more. And overall, I think this is one of those value for money type of fragrances, because you get top-notch presentation. Just look at the box that you kind of get this for this particular fragrance. Look at the bottle, look at the cap, look at the whole color. Everything about this fragrance is top-notch, and this for about the price lesser than Kaf. Kaf is selling for about 2,200. This you should get for 2,100 or so. For that price point, I think this is superb, because this is so very nice. Now, let me also answer that question. Should you have it if you have Kaf? Yes, because Kaf's DNA is totally different. That's also got a lot of musk. It's got citrus, it's got white flowers. But here, this is musk, ambroxan, it's fruity. Okay, so slightly different, but it's very well made. So if you have Kaf, you can definitely get this, not a problem at all. It's not on the similar line, so it's a very good value for money. I would say that this is the type of fragrance that you would want to wear for office, where you can get a lot of compliments, something that's very pleasing, something that's very mass appealing, and something that's very subtle and very masculine in the same way, where you have musk, but you have fruity elements, you have sweetness, and yet you get a very beautiful kind of a fragrance. That's what I thought about, Azure Royal, and I really think this is a gem that is there with the Ahmed Al Maghribi line, and no one talks about this particular fragrance, so much, right? I hardly see a couple of reviews. I think there's one by Flagstock on this one, but the whole identity of this particular fragrance as a blue fragrance is something that you will appeal to you. But this isn't your typical blue fragrance. This is a fragrance simply made up of a nice amount of ambroxan, nice amount of musk, amber, fruity elements, some amount of citrus that you kind of want, and you get a fantastic fragrance for yourself, right? So very, very good for summers, very good for all year round wearing, excellent for office use, and a very good addition to your collection of Ahmed Al Maghribi fragrances if you like that DNA, because you get a good concentration of 35 to 36%. So lasting is not a problem. Scent is soft, but then I would say that that is a good thing on this one, because the way ambroxan and musk opens on this particular fragrance along with the fruity notes, this is as good as a soft scent than as a loud beast kind of a performance. Okay, so excellently done, very well. And this is going to be added to decant soon, so I would definitely encourage you to try it before you get the bottle. So in case you like this, you can definitely DM us on on the number given on the screen, and you can get in touch for either your decant or a full version of this particular fragrance, right? So yes, so this is the Azure Royal by Ahmed Al Maghribi, an excellent summer fragrance, musky ambroxan fruity notes, and excellent value for money as well, right? So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe and share, and follow us for more fragrance related topics and videos coming your way. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Until another time, take care. Bye now.